Brothers and sisters, we continue to reflect on Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Today I want us to focus on a crucial period in our children's lives: adolescence and young adulthood. Stages filled with changes, discoveries, and challenges, where the instruction we gave them from an early age is put to the test, and where our loving, consistent guidance remains essential. During adolescence, children begin to search for their identity, question rules, explore new ideas, and sometimes temporarily stray from the values we taught them. This behavior should neither alarm nor discourage us, but rather remind us of the importance of our consistency and patience. Proverbs 22:6 assures us that what we have sown with love and consistency is never lost. Though paths may seem to stray, deep roots remain, and in time the fruits will become evident. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your teenage son as a young tree facing the wind and rain. It may lean, sway, and sometimes stray from the path we suggest, but its roots, carefully planted with love, patience, and solid values, remain firm. With our ongoing guidance, these young people will grow strong, steadfast, and wise, prepared to face the challenges of the world. One of the biggest challenges during this stage is maintaining open communication. Teenagers often feel the need for independence and privacy, which can lead to conflicts or misunderstandings. However, it is vital to remember that listening without judgment, offering support without imposing, and maintaining respectful dialogue are powerful tools to keep them trusting us and in the values we have taught. Effective communication creates a bridge between parental guidance and the young person's autonomy, enabling them to make decisions with confidence and responsibility. Furthermore, during adolescence and young adulthood, children face external pressures and temptations: friendships, the media, social networks, culture, and societal expectations. Teaching them to discern, analyze, and make decisions based on solid principles is crucial. We can guide them through clear examples, sincere conversations, and faith-strengthening activities, such as church involvement, youth groups, or community service projects. These experiences strengthen their character and enable them to apply the values they learned in childhood to real and challenging situations. Close your eyes again and imagine that every conversation, every piece of advice, and every moment of support acts as a beacon in your child's life. That lighthouse doesn't eliminate obstacles, but it illuminates the path, helps make wise decisions, and maintains the connection to the values and faith we've instilled from an early age. Another important aspect during this stage is fostering responsibility and independence. Adolescents and young people need opportunities to make decisions, face the consequences, and learn from their mistakes. When we guide them with love, set clear boundaries, and teach them to reflect on their choices, we provide them with tools that prepare them for an integral adult life, grounded in faith, solid values, and a sense of responsibility. Each mistake corrected with patience is an invaluable learning opportunity. Caring for our children's self-esteem and sense of identity is also fundamental. Recognizing their talents, achievements, and effort strengthens their confidence and teaches them to value their own development. The balance between guidance and freedom, between teaching and respect for their individuality, allows adolescents and young people to grow confident in themselves and in their relationship with God, understanding that the values we teach them are a solid foundation for facing life. Close your eyes and imagine that every word of encouragement, every acknowledgement, and every example of faith we give our children acts as a seed that will blossom when adolescence and youth give way to adulthood. Every effort we make with love and consistency has a lasting effect, even when it seems that young people temporarily turn away from our advice. The faith and values we have instilled remain in their hearts and guide their future decisions. During this stage, it is vital to teach children to relate to others with respect, empathy, and love, fostering healthy and uplifting relationships. Adolescence is a period when friendships and external influences play an important role, and teaching them to discern, to value positive companionship, and to remain faithful to the principles they've learned strengthens their character and helps them face life's challenges with wisdom and confidence. Close your eyes again and visualize your child facing difficult decisions, conflicts, and temptations, but remembering the values and faith you taught him from a young age. Imagine that every act of teaching, every conversation, every moment of support and prayer acts as a protective shield, guiding their steps and strengthening their hearts to face life with integrity and trust in God. Brothers and sisters, it is essential that as parents and caregivers we be consistent and steadfast, even when teenagers seem distant or challenging. Consistency in our additionally, we can teach young people to integrate faith into their daily lives through simple yet meaningful practices. Personal prayer, Bible reading, participation in service activities, reflection on their decisions, and seeking counsel in moments of doubt. These practices not only strengthen their relationship with God, but also give them the tools to live with integrity, ethics, and purpose. Close your eyes and visualize your children transforming their faith and values into concrete actions, wise decisions, and healthy relationships. Every moment of guidance, every conversation, every example, and every act of love contributes to their developing a full life, filled with purpose and aligned with the principles we teach them from an early age. Also remember that teaching during adolescence and young adulthood is a process of accompaniment, not absolute control. Respecting their autonomy, offering wise advice, and allowing them to make responsible decisions is the way to consolidate what we have sown. Young people who feel supported and understood by their parents are more likely to uphold the values they have learned and to apply their faith in their daily lives. If this message touches your heart and you want to commit to instructing your children during their adolescence and youth with love, consistency, and wise guidance, leave a like and comment. Today I choose to guide with love and faith. This commitment is an act of dedication, love, and courage that strengthens the family and honors God. Every conscious effort has an eternal effect, shaping lives and building a legacy of faith, values, and hope. Brothers and sisters, we have reached the final part of our reflection on Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Today I want us to focus on our children's adulthood, on how the values, faith, and teachings we instilled in them from childhood and adolescence continue to guide their lives, and on how our example and support remain relevant even as they forge their own path. Their children's adulthood is a moment of great pride and, at the same time, of some uncertainty for parents. Seeing them make decisions, face professional challenges, start their own families, and build their independent lives can evoke mixed feelings: pride, joy, but also fear and concern. However, Proverbs 22:6 assures us that the roots we plant in them with love and faith will remain firm, and that what we have taught them throughout their lives will serve as a constant guide in every decision and challenge they face. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that every lesson, every moment of prayer, every example of integrity and faith you gave your children is an invisible thread that continues to guide them, even when they no longer depend on you. That thread connects your love, your patience, and your values to their decisions, their relationships, and their daily lives. Although they now walk independently, the guidance they received remains in their hearts, helping them choose the right paths and keep their faith strong. One of the greatest challenges of adulthood is facing complex decisions and taking on personal responsibilities. Our children must now manage finances, relationships, jobs, and personal responsibilities. This is where the strength of the teaching they received is revealed. The values of honesty, integrity. It is essential that parents also model the behavior they expect to see in their children. Integrity, honesty, and patience aren't taught with words alone. They're learned by observing how we act in the face of challenges, how we treat others, and how we maintain our faith amid difficulties. Every action consistent with our values is a living lesson that children naturally internalize. Another essential aspect is teaching them to face problems with resilience and faith. Life is full of challenges, and our children will need tools to make wise decisions, resolve conflicts, and stay calm in the face of adversity. We can teach them to pray, to reflect before acting, and to trust that God always has a plan even when circumstances seem difficult. This learning prepares them to face the world with strength, confidence, and unwavering faith. Close your eyes again and visualize how each lesson, each example, and each shared moment acts as a brick in building a solid, secure home. The home we build with love, values, and faith not only protects our children, but also gives them a firm foundation for making right decisions, maintaining healthy relationships, and cultivating a deep relationship with God. I would like to invite you to a prayer of reflection. Lord, thank you for the opportunity to guide my children and for the responsibility of instilling values that endure. Help me be consistent, patient, and coherent in my teachings. Teach me to live with integrity, to act with love and to cultivate a home filled with faith, hope, and love. Strengthen their hearts and guide their steps along the right path. Amen. In addition to these practices, we can teach them the importance of gratitude and service to others, involving them in acts of generosity, whether helping a neighbor, participating in community activities, or caring for someone in need. Teaches them compassion and empathy, fundamental values that align with the instruction Proverbs 22:6 advises us. When children learn to give, share, and help, they are internalizing principles that will stay with them throughout their lives. Teaching also involves recognizing and celebrating their achievements, even the small ones. Positive reinforcement reinforces correct behaviors and helps children develop confidence in themselves and their decisions. Every moment of success celebrated with love and faith strengthens the family bond and teaches them to value their efforts and the fruits of their actions. Brothers and sisters, I want you to understand that applying Proverbs 22:6 is a process that requires dedication, patience, and unwavering faith. Every act of love, every lesson, and every positive example contributes to building a solid character, an unwavering faith, and a life guided by righteous principles. Even if we don't see immediate results, we must trust that God multiplies our efforts and that the seeds we sow today will bear fruit in the future. Finally, remember that instructing a child in the way he should go also transforms us. It makes us more patient, more understanding, and more aware of the importance of our faith and our actions. Every day is an opportunity to teach, guide, and strengthen values and faith within our family, creating a legacy that will transcend generations. If this message touches your heart and you want to commit to applying Proverbs 22:6 in your home, leave a like and comment. Today I choose to instruct with love and faith. This act is not merely symbolic. It is a commitment to God and to shaping a future filled with hope, integrity, and love. Remember that every word, gesture, and moment we dedicate to our children counts and has the power to transform lives forever. Brothers and sisters, we continue to delve into Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Today I want us to focus on the difficulties and challenges we face as parents and caregivers, and how we can maintain faith, patience, and consistency in instructing our children, even in the most challenging moments. We cannot ignore that raising children is a constant challenge. Each child is unique with their own personality, temperament, and needs. Some are more sensitive, others more active. Some learn quickly, while others need more time and support. This diversity can make us feel frustrated or unsure about whether we're doing the right thing. However, Proverbs 22:6 reminds us that our role is not perfection, but consistency and love in teaching. God values our effort and dedication and works in our children's hearts far beyond what we can see. One of the biggest challenges is managing difficult behavior or rebellion. When a child disobeys, yells, or refuses to follow instructions, it's easy to lose patience and react with anger. But it is precisely in those moments that we must remember that teaching with love and consistency is more important than correcting with anger. Take a deep breath, remember your values, and think about the impact on the long-term impact of your action. Every moment of discipline should be guided by the intention to teach, not just to punish. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that each challenge is like a stone in the road. At first it may seem like an obstacle, but with patience, faith, and love, that stone becomes a stepping stone that strengthens both our children and ourselves. Each challenge overcome together strengthens family bonds, teaches resilience, and reminds us that a child's education is a process of mutual growth. Another significant challenge is societal pressure and external influences. In today's world, our children are exposed to countless stimuli: social media, friendships, the media, and various ideologies. This can make it difficult for them to uphold the values we teach them. However, teaching consistently, explaining the reasons behind our teachings, and maintaining an open dialogue with our children gives them the tools to make wise decisions. Loving and consistent guidance acts as a beacon, illuminating their path through external storms. Effective communication is key. Listening to their concerns, validating their emotions, and offering guidance without imposing our point of view in an authoritarian manner creates an environment of trust. Children who feel they can express themselves freely and are listened to attentively develop confidence, self-esteem, and a trusting relationship with their parents. This strengthens the instructional process along the way, and makes it easier for the values and principles we teach them to take deep root. Patience is a fundamental pillar. We can't expect immediate changes or perfect results. Teaching a child to live by values and faith is a gradual process. Every mistake is a learning opportunity. Every disagreement is a chance for dialogue. And every difficult moment is an opportunity to teach resilience, respect, and perseverance. God accompanies us every step of the way and gives us the strength to stand firm even when the results aren't immediately visible. Prayer is also a powerful tool in these difficult times. Although today we're focusing on practical action and patience, we must never underestimate the power of prayer in our lives and in those of our children. Praying for wisdom, strength, and divine guidance helps us stay calm, make the right decisions, and instill faith and confidence in our children. Close your eyes for a moment and visualize that every challenging situation you face with your child is a teacher showing you how to be a better father, a better mother, and a better spiritual guide. Each difficulty overcome strengthens your home's values, reinforces your children's faith, and creates an environment where love, patience, and discipline coexist harmoniously. Even when circumstances seem overwhelming, every conscious effort contributes to a solid, hopeful future. We must also consider the importance of reinforcing achievements and positive behaviors. Amid challenges, celebrating progress, no matter how small, motivates children to keep growing and learning. Recognition reinforces self-esteem and teaches them that effort and obedience have real and lasting value. Correcting mistakes is just as important as celebrating successes, since both are educational tools that strengthen their character and their relationship with God. Moments of conflict can become learning opportunities if we approach them with intention and love. Explaining the natural consequences of their actions, teaching the importance of responsibility, and guiding them with patience are strategies that not only correct, but also educate. Remember that true teaching manifests over time. What we sow today may not bear visible fruit tomorrow, but patience and perseverance are key. God teaches us to trust that every act of love and guidance counts, even when we don't see the results right away. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that every lesson you teach your children is a light that illuminates their path. They may not understand every detail now or appreciate every lesson at this moment, but every seed of love, faith, and respect we sow will grow and blossom at just the right time. God works in their hearts, and our daily dedication has a multiplying effect that transforms entire lives. In addition to teaching values and principles, it is vital to foster trust and open communication. Children who feel they can speak freely with their parents and are heard and understood develop emotional security and self-confidence. Open communication allows children to express their doubts, fears, and joys, and enables parents to guide them with patience and wisdom. Teaching with love also means listening more than we speak, paying attention to their needs, and responding with understanding and support. Another crucial aspect is to be a living example of the values we wish to instill. Children learn much more from what they see than from what they hear. When we act with honesty, patience, generosity, and faith, they naturally internalize those lessons. Consistency in our behavior reinforces the lessons and shows them that the values we preach are not just words, but a way of life worth following. It is also important to teach them to face challenges with faith and resilience. Life will not always be easy, and our children will encounter moments of difficulty, confusion, and pain. Preparing them to face these situations with confidence in God and solid principles is a fundamental part of guiding them on their path. We can teach them to pray in moments of fear or uncertainty, to make decisions based on faith, and to seek constructive solutions instead of giving in to adversity. Discipline is another powerful tool when applied with love and respect. It's not about punishing mistakes, but about teaching responsibility and the importance of the consequences of their actions. Consistent and loving discipline creates an environment of respect and trust, and helps children understand that obedience and integrity are values that will benefit them throughout their lives. Discipline without love, on the other hand, breeds resentment, fear, and rebellion, and can weaken family bonds. Close your eyes again and visualize how each loving gesture, each word of encouragement, and each patient correction acts as a brick in building a solid home. The home we build with love, values, and faith not only protects our children, but also gives them a firm foundation to face life's challenges make wise decisions, and maintain a close relationship with God. I want to invite you to a deep prayer of reflection. Lord, thank you for the blessing of my children and the opportunity to guide them. Help me be a constant example of love, patience, and faith. Teach me to listen to their hearts, to correct with tenderness, to teach with clarity, and to sow values that will stay with them throughout their lives. Protect them, strengthen their character, and help me trust that every seed I plant today will bear fruit tomorrow. Amen. The practical application of this verse requires daily dedication and conscious decisions. We can establish family Bible reading routines, times of joint prayer, and spaces where children can express their thoughts and emotions. We can involve them in service and generosity activities, teaching them to act with compassion and empathy toward others. All of these actions reinforce the values we want to instill and give them the tools to live an upright, faith-filled life. Character development also involves teaching them to take on responsibilities from an early age. Participating in household chores, taking care of their belongings, helping others, and making appropriate decisions are ways to strengthen their discipline, maturity, and confidence. Every act of responsibility is an opportunity to reinforce values, teach consequences, and show that life is full of choices that must be made with wisdom and faith. Brothers and sisters, I want you to understand that instruction in the way of our children never ends. Even when they are adults, the teachings we sow endure in their hearts and guide their decisions, relationships, and faith. Perseverance, patience, and love are the pillars that sustain this work, and every effort made with intention and divine guidance has an eternal impact. Finally, remember that sowing values and faith in our children also transforms us. It makes us more patient, more understanding, more steadfast in our own faith, and more aware of the responsibility God has entrusted to us. Each day is an opportunity to teach, guide, and strengthen faith and values within our family, creating a legacy that will transcend generations. If this message touches your heart, and you want to commit to applying Proverbs 22:6 in your home, leave a like and comment. Today I choose to instruct with love and faith. It's not just a symbolic gesture. It's an act of courage and love that strengthens your family and honors God. Remember that every word, every gesture, and every moment we dedicate to our children counts and has the potential to transform lives, including our own brothers and sisters. We continue to reflect on Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old he will not depart from it. Today I want us to focus on how this teaching translates into concrete actions within family life, and how we can ensure that every moment we share with our children or grandchildren leaves a positive and lasting mark on their lives. Instruction is not an isolated act, but a process that encompasses the child's entire growth. From the earliest age, children absorb everything they see, hear, and feel. Therefore, it is essential that our actions reflect the values we want to teach: honesty, patience, respect, compassion, and faith in God. Each day presents opportunities to teach these lessons, and they don't always require complex words. Sometimes simply living with integrity and showing how we face challenges with faith is enough for children to learn and be inspired. One of the most important elements in a child's upbringing is consistency. Consistency means maintaining a coherent focus on the values and principles we wish to impart, even when life tests us or results are not immediate. It's normal to feel discouraged when our children don't respond immediately to our teachings, but we must trust that God is at work in their hearts, strengthening the roots we've planted. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that every word of encouragement, every loving correction, and every example of patience we give our children is like an invisible thread that connects them to us and to God. Every action we take with intention and love strengthens that thread and builds a bond that will last a lifetime. Teaching isn't limited to special moments. Every ordinary instant is an opportunity to sow values, faith, and trust. Now I want to talk about practical examples that we can apply in our daily lives. Reading and reflection time. Reading and reflection time. Spend a few minutes each day reading the Bible together and reflecting on a passage. This not only teaches about faith, but also establishes a habit of learning and spiritual connection that will stay with them forever. Shared activities. Shared activities. Cooking together, doing crafts, or even tidying up the house are moments to teach responsibility, cooperation, and patience. Every daily activity is an opportunity to reinforce values and create meaningful memories. Active listening. Active listening. Pay attention to what our children say, without interrupting or immediately judging. This teaches them that their opinions and feelings are important and worthy of respect, strengthening their self-esteem and confidence. This teaches them that their opinions and feelings are important and worthy of respect, strengthening their self-esteem and confidence. Correction with love. When mistakes or conflicts arise, instead of reacting with anger, take a moment to explain the consequences of their actions and guide them with understanding. This helps them learn to make responsible decisions and understand the importance of discipline. Joint prayer. Teach them to trust in God from an early age through family prayer times. Prayer strengthens faith, teaches gratitude, and allows children to find comfort and guidance in times of difficulty.